How do you select a strong trademark or a brand that's really going to work for you? Well, if it's a name that you want to trademark, the reason you register the trademark is to stop others from using the same or similar name, so that customers are not confused. They don't come to me thinking that my course is your course. It's something that distinguishes you in the industry. That's the whole purpose of the trademark. So how do you select a good strong name? Well, unfortunately, and contrary to what some marketing people tell you, a good strong name is one that is not directly descriptive of the goods or services that you're offering. This doesn't mean it can't have any descriptive elements, but if it's a term that others in your industry use, then it's too descriptive. So I'll give you an example. If in the clothing industry you've come up with a particular fabric that's nice and soft, and you call your clothes soft clothes, you wouldn't be able to register that because other manufacturers or other clothing people might want to say that their clothes are soft. So it's purely describing what they do. So if I'm creating a workshop and I call it Legal Essentials for Small Business, that purely describes what my workshop is about. I'm going to teach legal essentials for small business. I can't stop others from registering that. And there is an easy way to check. Just go onto Google and have a look. Have a look at the term that you're interested in using. And if others have used it in a way to describe their goods and services, then most likely you won't be able to get that registered as a trademark. Now there is a little loophole, a little exception. If you go for a name that's descriptive and you add a logo to it, then you might be able to get it registered as a trademark. This is assuming that nobody else has something already similar registered. If somebody else has something identical or similar registered, you won't be able to get it. But if you add a logo to a descriptive term, in Australia, the Intellectual Property Office will generally let you have it as a registration. And sometimes people say to me, well, what kind of protection does that give you? I always say that it's best to register your words separately and your logo separately because it gives you stronger protection. So anybody using anything similar to those words will infringe. Anybody using anything similar to that logo will infringe. If you have the words and logo together, to infringe, they have to use something that's similar to the words and the logo as well. But having the words plus logo does give you some protection, and sometimes clients choose to do that, especially if they are very invested in a name and they've used the name for a long time. And there was a case a few years ago now called the realestate.com.au, and realestate.com.au is very descriptive. I mean, real estate is purely descriptive, and .com.au is also considered to be just part of a URL, a web address. So that's not distinctive. But what they did was they added a little red house as a logo, and so their trademark was registered. And then somebody else started using a domain name, realestate1.com.au. They didn't have a logo. There was no other similarity. And that went to court, and the court said because the words were similar and most people would verbalize the name, there was trademark infringement. So the words on their own were not sufficiently distinctive to get the trademark registered. They had to add the logo. But where the other people were using just the word component of the mark that was registered, well, it was a similar mark, wasn't the same, realestate.com.au, realestate1.com.au. The court said that was too similar. So the take-home message is that if ideally you would choose a name for your course or your business to get registered as a trademark that is distinctive, different from what other people are using. So for example, I have registered for myself the name The Legal Lioness. My clients started calling me that, and I did various trademark searches, Nobody else is using that. It's unique. It was easy for me to get it registered. It doesn't, Legal Lioness doesn't describe what I do. It's what they call a skillful allusion. It's a hint at what I do. It's a hint at the way that I perform my work. Whereas if I had to call myself fantastic lawyer or reliable lawyer, other lawyers might want to use those words and they wouldn't be able to get those registered. So to get a strong trademark, you want to hopefully get one that is unique, nobody else in your industry is using. And it can be similar or the same as a name in another industry. So for example, Toyota obviously is registered for vehicles and vehicle parts, but there is another Toyota registered as a trademark for hotels, of all things. So different industries, you can have the same name. And if you're going to have a name that's descriptive, then something to look at is adding a logo to the name if you want to register it as a trademark.